Oh,
Good evening, St. Augustine in the 904 area code. How is everybody? You've got two bearded gentlemen today, as usual, except we've got Blake Blevins the younger instead of Pappy Blevins the elder.
I know yeah. So good evening, everyone. Welcome into Bollocks this evening, and we are here live in the
Bozard Ford studio. There you go.
All right, thank you. Now you may be wondering why Mr. Pappy ain't here right now. Let's just say he may have ran into some issues at his primary office,
His other place of employment.
So, but let's just hope he has a wetsuit with him. So that's all we're going to say for right now. But Lenny,
yeah,
we are here in the Bozard Ford studio,
and let's talk about Bozard Ford. Why don't we?
Indeed.
Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine has a goal to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Take them test rides, people. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been a recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford has also won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com.
All right. Since 2008, Brightway Insurance, a case agency, has been guiding St. Augustine through hurricanes, floods, fires, and more. Led by longtime local Ashley Casey, this is insurance done the Brightway way. No confusing jargon, no one-size-fits-all policies, just clear guidance, multiple quotes, and customized coverage that protects what matters most. With deep roots in the community and decades of experience, Ashley and his team makes insurance simple, affordable, and personal. Visit them on the island at 108 Seagrove Main Street or call 904-217-7547 Brightway Insurance. The bright way to do insurance.
You can experience the art of Italian dining at Saint, nestled in the heart of historic St. Augustine. From handmade pastas to rich risottos and indulgent tiramisu, every dish blends authentic Italian flavor with modern elegance. Sip a craft cocktail, savor seasonal ingredients, and enjoy breathtaking views from their second-floor balcony or rooftop patio, where you can take in the bayfront and even spot the lighthouse on a clear day. At Saint, every meal is a celebration. Join us there and elevate your dining experience.
All right. Opposite the Casilla de San Marco, which was built to defend the city from the raids, is the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, which houses the world's largest and most authentic collection of pirate artifacts curated by Pat Cochi and the Cochi family. Included in the collection is over 800 items exhibited in 40 immersive exhibits. And it is only one of 3 surviving Jolly Roger flags left in the world. See Gold from Blackbeard's ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, and the blunderbuss he used to steal and keep it. See treasure chests and jewels and encrusted weapons, as well as memorabilia from Hook and other pirate-themed movies. There is a scavenger hunt designed for younger guests to learn about pirate lore as they explore the museum, as well as a fully stocked gift shop. Put on an iPad and grab your parrot as you experience the golden age of piracy located in downtown St. Augustine across the fort.
Okay, now, along with those that we mentioned earlier, we have an amazing group of sponsors here at the Bollocks this evening. We've got A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing, Anastasia and Moultrie Creek Diner for your breakfast and lunch needs, Bozard Ford we've mentioned, Brightway Insurance we've mentioned, St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, one of our favorites. The Saint, of course. Then we've got Synergy Power Solutions, formerly known as Solar Stick, Abear Kresge and Associates, Powell Heating and Air, Meehan's, A.D. Davis Construction, and the St. Augustine Distillery and Citygate Spirits. That is a fine collection of people that support us, and we just respectfully ask you to support them.
Thank you, Lenny, for that. Lenny, how are you doing this afternoon? And I just realized, do you only circle in the paperclip just for my dad?
Yes.
Okay.
That way I don't have to chase him later and try to find more paper clips. We have a paperclip dearth around here. So, yes, I do that for your father.
Indeed.
I am well, thank you. I'm wearing shorts again, so it's obviously warmed up a little bit. So that's a good thing here in St. Augustine.
Warmed up for you, jeez.
Yeah. Come on, it's 50 degrees.
No.
You were born with Florida thin blood, I'm afraid.
I definitely feel like one of those frozen lizards right now.
Yeah.
The frozen iguanas.
You know, I read in today's paper that somebody, shoveled up 1,000 iguanas that are being distributed to licensed iguana handlers or other places that they'll probably be disposed of, poor iguanas. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. That what do you do with a frozen iguana? And I asked yesterday, when a frozen iguana lands on its head, does it get brain damage?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Hope not.
But it's for the poor iguanas. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of goofy, but that's what the cold will do. Most of my outdoor plants froze. Oh shit! It's time for me to take my orchids back out of my garage and put them out in fresh air and sunshine.
Yep.
All right.
Need to do that tonight as well. I'm actually house sitting for my dearest mother. She is currently in Arkansas right now for a business trip. So.
And who might she be talking to in Arkansas? We may wonder.
Probably the number one company in the world according to the Fortune 500.
There you go. I think that will be Mr. and Mrs. Walmart.
Mr. Sam Walton's fine creation.
There you go. Hey, you know what? They're okay. I don't think they were on anybody's cancel list, so good for them.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah. But, yeah, so that's good. I hope she has it. Oh, it's probably chilly in Arkansas right about now.
She actually had to drive all the way up to Arkansas because she was originally planning on going from like Jacksonville to Atlanta, then to Bentonville.
Okay.
But she was like worried like there's no way that her samples to present to the Walmart execs were going to get there in time, so she drove up.
Wow.
All the way to Bentonville with the supplies. So wish you the best, Mom.
Impressive. Yeah, right. Exactly. Safe travels and come home soon.
Indeed.
Yeah, all right. And what's going on with you?
Oh,
other than house sitting in the warmth and showering with luxury.
It's definitely nice to have my own shower again, Lenny. It's amazing. Just two dogs cuddling next to me the entire time.
Nice.
Both having my own kitchen.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, I enjoy that. I actually got back into my outdoor shower today. It was warm enough for me to go and shower outside again. I didn't yesterday or the day before because it was a little bit chilly. And as I said, most of my outdoor plants have given up the ghost.
Yeah.
But, it happens. It's warming back up. It'll be 70 on Sunday. So we're okay. This too shall pass, as they say.
Indeed. All right, Lenny, let's get into today's show. So topics for today include lawsuits.
Or the threats thereof, yeah.
Famous medicine origins.
Okay.
And definitions.
Okay.
What do you want to start off by getting litigious first?
Well, it's not me getting litigious. It's just that it seems that every time our president gets upset about something, he's going to sue somebody. He could quite possibly be one of the most litigious people known to the court systems. And I got this because I was watching a replay of the Grammys last night. We taped the Grammys, so you watched it, and CBS is done with the Grammys. This will be the last year that CBS is covering the Grammys. They've done it since the 1969, maybe. Something about 50 years or so, give or take. And Trevor Noah has done it for 6 years, and this is his last year doing the Grammys. This was his last Grammy appearance.
Yeah.
And he said, what are they going to do? Fire me? I don't care. So he, went off book a little bit on a couple of things as he was roaming around the room looking for people to talk to. And he kept making a couple of less than veiled threats, or not threats, but veiled comments toward the current administration. And, the administration, and by the administration, I mean the president, said, I think I'll sue them. So, again, anytime our president gets upset about something, he runs right to the courts and says, I'm going to sue him for it. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. A lot of times he loses. But, he just, it's just getting ridiculous. Man up, take a joke or don't take a joke. But by that same token, you got to get tougher thin, Mr. President, because you're in the same boat that every other president has been there. You've got supporters and you've got detractors. And you know what? The supporters are going to say lovely things about you, and the detractors are going to try to knock you down a peg. It comes with the territory. Nobody said, Mr. Trump, you need to be president. You wanted this. You ran for this. You won it twice. Accept the victory and be gracious. Because you know what? You still got another 3 years or so, 2.5 years, where you're going to get lambasted by the people on the left and supported by the people on the right. So you know what? Balance the scales and figure, well, now 35% of the country supports you and 65% of the country doesn't quite these days. But still, take it with a grain of salt. Some of it's done in jest. Some of it's mean-spirited. None of it's necessarily appropriate. But stop threatening to sue people for $12 billion, $12 million. whatever it is, because it's just a waste of the court's time, a waste of people's time, and a waste of energy, including your own, sir.
Yeah. Let's see. So right now, I'm trying to see what's all being what all he's suing right now. So he's suing the IRS and the U.S. Treasury Department for $10 billion for alleging that they failed to protect confidential tax information because there were some leaks to the New York Times and ProPublica by a former contractor. He's also suing JP
Was
Morgan.
it a Doge contractor that took all the Social Security information, or was it a different contractor?
Not sure about that.
Okay, I think it might have been a different contractor. It might have been one of his CPAs, but be that as it may.
And then JP Morgan Chase, he's suing them for the closing of his accounts in 2021. New York Times defamation lawsuit, which actually a federal judge requested to be refiled for being too long. And the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch for $10 billion for reporting on the story about Jeffrey Epstein.
It's just, it comes with the territory. He did this. And as I say, growing up in New York, Donald Trump. The man jumps ugly early. I don't know that he may have. I shouldn't say he hasn't. But, the Central Park Five, he had those poor children hung for a rape that they were indicted for, arrested for, served jail time, and then it was proven that they didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he was leading the charge with the torches and the pitchforks. Why was he involved in that? He wasn't a politician at the time. He was a resident of New York State. He was a powerful man in the city. But again, stay in your lane. You tell everybody else to stay in their lane. Build buildings. You're good at that, sort of. But it's just... It just gets tiring. It really does. He's exhausting. Every day it's something different.
Yeah.
And you may call it Trump derangement syndrome. I call it, reality. Enough is enough. I don't think Barack Obama, when he got lambasted, threatened to sue everybody. I don't think George Bush, when he got picked on, threatened to sue anybody. I don't think Bill Clinton did. You're a public figure. It comes with the territory. The answer is not to threaten a lawsuit every time your feelings are hurt. Thicker skin. That's all.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that this administration brings on themselves, people are freaking out about ICE going to Italy for the Olympics, ICE going to the Super Bowl. You know what? For years, Homeland Security has been protecting the Super Bowl. And they probably have been traveling to the Olympics every 2 or 4 years as well. But because the administration said we're sending ICE, and I don't know if it was the administration, but it became known that the administration was sending ICE there, instead of saying Homeland Security. If the government said Homeland Security will be on site to work to protect our athletes and the Olympics, I don't think anybody would bat an eye, because that's Homeland Security's job.
Yeah.
Same thing for the Super Bowl. They've been covering the Super Bowl for years. Not ICE, Homeland Security.
Yeah, so actually, so Trump wasn't the first president to actually have the derangement syndrome quoted. It was actually started by former Fox News analyst Charles Krauthammer in 2003 when he actually coined the phrase Bush derangement system. So this has been going on for a bit.
Okay.
So and actually,
they get deranged about Democratic presidents?
Conservative activist David Horowitz used the phrase Obama derangement syndrome to compare over-the-top hysteria in the criticism offered by sections of the right-wing commentary regarding Barack Obama. So this has been like a thing before, to immediately dismiss harsh criticism as a derangement syndrome.
Okay.
But never like a president's weaponized this for himself to stop criticism.
Right, and it's not working. The reality of it is again, they bring it upon themselves. The office of the president, good, bad, or indifferent, used to have some gravitas to it. I'm not finding too much gravitas in this administration, and gravitas basically means high seriousness, is basically the definition of that word, high seriousness. When this administration alters photographs of people that have been arrested to make their skin look darker and tears on their face where there weren't any, and publishes that on the White House Instagram or X or Twitter or whatever feed they want to put it on, what's the point of that? It's a fabricated AI document. It's not real. And they're standing behind it going, oh, it's just a meme. Is the woman who they did that to turning around and going to sue them? Possibly, but I don't know that she is.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
I mean, it's just, go ahead. Sorry.
And plus plus with the whole Trump derangement system, like even with Bush, even with Obama, even with Biden, like they often said Trump their own derangement system, but you never have like U.S. representatives actually filing bills for the National Institute of Health to track cases of Trump of TDS.
Right. Yeah. And you know, and yeah, it's true. It seems that in retrospect, the media, you know, sort of gave Joe Biden, he's an old man, let him do his thing type of thing. And that was not fair to him or to us or to anybody because, you know, as Joe Biden's decline became much more apparent, it wasn't reported on as much as it probably could have been or should have been.
Yeah.
But I hope people remember that if Donald Trump slips into further decline, that becomes a little bit more apparent, and they don't, you know, lay off of him either. But yeah, no, Joe Biden received more of a pass than he deserved, it seems at times. So that's a shame. But, you know, if this administration would admit a mistake and apologize for it, their criticism would be diminished dramatically. You know, now there's a whole big movement to put body cameras on, and they've got 2 weeks to work this out. Let's see what happens with that, because the federal government's reopened. It looks like the same number of Democrats that supported the bill in the House of Representatives was about the same number of Republicans who didn't support the bill. It passed by 2 votes. So the government is back open. And it was a very brief shutdown, and it didn't affect too many things because it was over the, you know, Sunday into Monday. But now that the bill is signed, the government's back open, and they've got 2 weeks to negotiate on some type of organization for Homeland Security, where we should not bother to have a telethon because Homeland Security has a $79 billion budget. That's billion with a B. Homeland Security has a larger budget than every other federal law enforcement totaled. FBI, DOJ, ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Drug Enforcement Administration, all of those don't total up to the $79 billion for Homeland Security. What I find fascinating about this is in the agreement they reached, and according to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem is saying, yep, we're going to put body cameras on everybody. But could you give us $20 million to buy those body cameras? You have $79 billion. You need to go scrounging for $20 billion or $20 million in your couch cushions? That's ridiculous. You got the money there. Why do you need another bill? So, you know, it's wacky. It's really wacky. And on that, I'd like to, you know, read a couple of definitions out of the dictionary.
Got it.
Domestic is relating to or originating within a country, especially one's own country. So we're talking about domestic being basically the United States. A terrorist is an advocate or a practitioner of terrorism as a means of coercion. Nobody likes terrorism. Nobody likes terrorists. We're not used to it in this country because it's infrequent that true terrorism happens in the country. It does, but, you know, not on an organized basis. But now domestic terrorist, by definition, a domestic terrorist in the U.S., domestic terrorism is defined as acts intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population or influence government policy. By that definition, I think ICE, in the way they're acting in Minneapolis and other places, are domestic terrorists by definition. So I'm just going by the definitions, you know? So that's sort of what it comes down to. That and, you know, would you stop naming things after living people until they pass away? It's a bad precedent, and we have experience with that. California named a section of the freeway there for Richard Nixon. You know what that freeway is called now? The Marina Freeway. Because in retrospect, they did it while he was still alive. They did it before he got impeached, and they had to eat crow and change the name of that because it was an unpopular situation. So, you know, that's what it comes down to. You can't do this. So, you know, and by the way, people aren't naming, well, there's a bill to name the Palm Beach Airport after him. There's a bill in Congress to strip the name of Allen Dulles off of the Dulles International Airport and name it after Donald Trump. You know what? Let the man finish his second term. Let the man go blissfully into that dark night and then discuss naming things after him when everything is said and done. Because right now it's very premature. You want to...
But like, if that's the case, then that is going to be named after Trump when he's in office. He wants to do it now when he has the power.
Well, I'm not expecting the man to pass away in 2028. He should live long and enjoy Mar-a-Lago to the best of his ability for as long as he possibly can. That would be wonderful. But you don't got to name stuff after him while he's still alive, and let alone the fact that he's doing the naming. He named the Peace Institute after himself. He named the Kennedy Center, which was a living tribute to President John F. Kennedy.
Gonna be close to 2 years now.
And he's stuck his name on there. So that's ridiculous, first of all. Second of all, it may not be congressionally appropriate because you just can't slap your name on things if you're the president. You have to go through Congress, which is something that this administration tends not to do. And now, one last thing, and then we can move on to medicines. There's a hue and cry now, again, about the 24 election and the 2020 election. Why is it that Donald Trump only bitches about elections he lost? There's never been a problem in the elections he's won. So every election that he won, the two that he won, there was no fraud in that because he won. But if he loses, there's fraud. You can't have it both ways. Either there's electoral fraud or there's not electoral fraud. And everything that's been proven by Republican administrations, Democratic administrations, Republican DOJs, Democratic DOJs, there's not mass fraud in our elections. Scream what you want. And on that note, there's also no proof by anybody anywhere, and I looked this up as well, to validate his claims or anybody's claims that foreign countries are emptying their insane asylums and their prisons and sending these people into the United States. It's a very frightening thing to say to people who may be scared, but there's absolutely no validity in that. So you're allowed to say things, and we'll come back to Kellyanne Conway. You're entitled to your facts, but you're not entitled to make up your facts. You're entitled to your opinions. You're not entitled to your own facts. Facts are real. And there's been no invasion from prisons and mental institutions from any countries like the Congo and Venezuela that's been proven by any metric, by anybody who's fact-checked that at any point in time. And on that, let's talk about medicines.
All right. So, famous medicine origins.
Oh, I'm sorry, Barbara Jean. It's now back to being the Marina Highway. So the I Am Not a Crook Highway became the Marina Highway out in California. They had to, change the name and change the signs and stuff like that. So thanks for reminding me.
All right. So let's begin famous medicines. Now, Lenny, if you are feeling a little bit stuffy, which one do you go for first? Dayquil or NyQuil?
As a rule, neither.
Really?
I'm a Robitussin kind of guy.
Robitussin, okay.
The Tussin will cure you right up, baby. That good stuff.
Good to know. All right. But so real quick first, let's start with NyQuil because it came first compared to Dayquil. NyQuil was introduced in 1966.
Wow. Holy cow. That's a long time ago.
It's just older than my dad.
Okay. Yeah,
so NyQuil includes antihistamines, cough suppressants, pain relievers, and its most famous and the tagline is the nighttime sniffing, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, so you can rest medicine. So it actually came out in 1966 first. Dayquil came out in 1980s as a daytime counterpart. Dayquil removed the sedating antihistamines, kept the system relief, and let people function at work, for work, school, drive on the road, and why this is a big deal is because it helps with time of day medicines. So basically, the medicine helps treat human schedules, sleep cycles, daily productivity, and later influence allergy medications, extended release pills, and morning night dosing instructions across big pharma.
Yeah. Plus, there used to be alcohol in it. I don't think there is anymore.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people, if you couldn't get your sterno, you go to the NyQuil and get a cheap buzz.
Yeah, so
And I am not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. Do not take any medical advice from me, please.
please don't take any medical advice from me as well. I'm currently right now overweight, so please do not take any medical advice from me as well.
That just makes you a good American.
Indeed, Lenny. So yeah, but so actually, primarily my cold and flu medicine of choice is actually Mucinex.
Okay.
Those little green mucus guys.
Right.
Always influence me to get a bottle.
Is that an expectorant? I like saying expectorate.
Mucinex.
Growing up, my mother would cringe when my father would spit and say spit, and she would say expectorate. So, which, by the way, sounds something like a Harry Potter character would say.
That actually is a expectorant. So main ingredient in Mucinex is guaifenesin. It works by thinning and loosening mucus in the chest, making coughs more productive and help you clear congestion.
That's what I want, a productive cough.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I want my cough to go away.
Yeah, so
I want your cough to go away.
I actually like my cough to go away as well at some point.
Well, you'll sleep well in your dog warmed bed, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go to Claritin. I can see clearly now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So before Claritin, Benadryl style antihistamines always knocked people out. Drivers, students, workers were feeling drowsy all day. Allergy relief often meant choosing between breathing and functioning. Doctors knew histamines caused allergy symptoms, but blocking them without sedation was the holy grail. Claritin active ingredient was loratadine. It was actually developed in 1970s by Schering Plough. Loratadine works differently by comparing early antihistamines. They cross into the brain easily, causing sleepiness. It was actually engineered to block histamines in the body and avoid the brain as much as possible, and that meant less drowsiness and same allergy relief. Actually, Claritin actually launched in 1993, marketing heavily as non-drowsy bull claim at the time. Quickly became one of the most prescribed allergy drugs in America, and Claritin actually went over the counter in 2002.
Okay, let's look up Coricidin for Barbara Jean.
Got it.
I used to do Coricidin too, and Cepacol. That was a good spray and good. That was the one that would numb out your tonsils in your throat if you had a sore throat. Cepacol was good. That little cherry flavored red spray.
Yeah. So Coricidin is cold relief for people with high blood pressure.
It's me.
Most cold medicines rely on decongestants like epinephrine and phenylephrine. They work, but they also raise blood pressure, increase heart rate, creates risk for people with hypertension or heart disease. Doctors constantly warn patients don't take cold medicine if you have high blood pressure. Coricidin was developed in the 1960s to specifically ask one question: can you treat cold symptoms without raising blood pressure? Solution was to remove decongestants entirely, focus on symptom relief that didn't affect blood pressure. And then they relied on antihistamines, cost suppressants, pain relievers, and then let off no pseudoephedrine, and then no phenylate and no stimulant effects.
Right. I know that Coricidin does make a high blood pressure acceptable medicine, which is good. Clears you right up.
Yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, I definitely might need that as well.
There you go.
So.
Okay. What else you got? How about ibuprofen? That's been in the news a lot lately too.
Ooh, ibuprofen. Do you want to talk about ibuprofen? And then I just had ChatGPT realize I misspelled ibuprofen. Yeah, so in 1950s, doctors treated arthritis and chronic pain, had a bad trade-off. Aspirin worked but irritated the stomach, could cause bleeding at high doses. Opioids relieve pain but cause sedation, dependence, and risk of overdose. It was actually, so ibuprofen was developed in the UK in late 1950s by researchers at Boots.
To replace opioids?
Yeah, aspirin and opioids.
Okay. Aspirin cause bleeding, opioids would just kill you.
Yeah, they were specifically targeting rheumatoid arthritis, not everyday headaches.
Right.
After testing hundreds of the compounds, they landed on ibuprofen, part of now what's called the NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They work by blocking prostaglandins, chemicals that drive inflammation, pain, and fever, reducing swelling at the source, not just masking pain. And so, sorry about that. So, 1969, it was approved in the UK as a prescription authorized drug. 74 approved in the US. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
In 1984, approved for over-the-counter use in lower doses.
Well, yeah, I mean, the standard dose of ibuprofen used to be I believe the tablets were 300 or 325 milligrams, and now they're down to 200 milligrams because too much ibuprofen is really not good for you or your liver. So you got to be careful in your dosing with ibuprofen. Don't take it with alcohol either, because that's not good, because that'll increase their stomach bleeding and things of that nature that goes along with it, and your liver gets more susceptible to issues when you're taking ibuprofen. It seems from my reading. Yet, it was great as a palliative. I would take ibuprofen before I'd go in for a 10, 12-hour shift in the restaurant, just to loosen everything up a little bit. The anti-inflammatory part of it is what I was going for, and it worked. But now I take ibuprofen very, very, very rarely, because again, it's just too much of a good thing type of situation. Too much of a good thing. You gonna make it, Blake?
I'm trying my best, Lenny.
All right.
Trying my best.
All right, buddy. You're doing great. You're doing great. Seeing as you're running the show, I'm at your mercy.
I'm good, Lenny. So,
all right, good. What else we got drug wise?
Oh, how about something I should probably have more of? Hall's cough drops.
There you go. I got another one if you need one.
I maybe here in a bit, but
okay.
In 1893, two brothers, Thomas Harold Hall and Norman Smith Hall, started making hard candy in Britain. Their original product was mentholated sweets meant to soothe throats, not treat illnesses. Menthol mattered by creates a cooling sensation that soothes throats irritation, triggers a feeling of easier breathing, temporarily quiets the cough reflex. Even though it doesn't cure a cold, it makes people feel fast, which is exactly what cough sufferers want. By the early 1900s, Hall's menthol sweets are being specifically marketed for coughs, sore throats, hoarseness. And World War I actually helped spread the product with soldiers carrying menthol drops to soothe throats in cold, wet conditions, and demand skyrocketed. Halls entered the U.S. market in the 1930s when Americans embraced strong menthol flavor, pocket-sized packaging, and immediate throat relief.
Yeah, that's a compound word of menthol and eucalyptus. Mentholyptus. It'll clear you right up. You can breathe again when you get those Hall's mentholyptus going on there. Menthol and the eucalyptus, pretty groovy.
Yep.
And all of a sudden your nasal passages clear up, and it's great. It really is a good thing. Better than those little Vicks inhalers, which are also menthol in theory.
Yeah.
And those things, I got into a big phase where I would have one of those in my pocket and just snort on those just to get the clean, fresh air coming in right after that menthol flavor.
I actually do like the Vicks vapor rubs.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was a kid at my grandma's house, she used to rub it on my throat, put like a little handkerchief around my neck, and just felt a nice relief.
Did she sing "Soft Kitty" to you?
No, she didn't.
All right. And also, I just read something or saw an ad for I think I saw a commercial for the fact that Vicks Vapor Rub is changing their application, so you don't have to get your hands all dirty now. So I don't know if it's a rub-on applicator or a dab-on applicator, but I believe I just saw a commercial that they're changing their application process for Vicks Vapor Rub.
Let's see.
That's modern technology at its finest.
It is indeed.
So what do you got?
Ooh. I'm trying to confirm if it what does the Vapor Rub use now? Like do they have like their own stick or like stuff like that?
I'm not sure. It was just who watches commercials nowadays? If you're time shifting, you get to go through the commercials.
Well, a lot of people are going to be watching commercials on Sunday.
Well, that's true. That's why I tape the game just because I watch the game very intently. I tape the game because if I go back and need to see a commercial, I can go back and do it. Because I usually don't pay too much attention to the commercials during the game. Got too much stuff, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, especially if Dad's back. Mm-hmm. So we have time to deal with the big game tomorrow during wager wire.
Yep,
that'll be interesting. It's gonna be tough to make some money on this game, though. I'll tell you. The teams are too good, and the players are they're not. Nobody's sneaking up on you. You got to reach deep. maybe Boutte for a touchdown. I don't necessarily. I'm going to go with Jake Bobo, which is a fun name to say too, but we'll see. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
What about Ricola? That's
Ooh.
more like Jägermeister in a pill.
Ricola origin. I actually do like Ricola over Halls. But it has to be like the honey one, not like the.
Okay.
So it's actually founded in Switzerland in 1930. What?
Soft Kitty works for Barbara Jean. She's a happy woman. It's good for her.
I mean,
Soft kitty, sweet kitty, little ball of fur. Carry on.
all right. So Switzerland has a long history of herbal remedies, especially in the alpine regions where medicinal plants were grown and passed down through generations. So Ricola is a 13 herb formula, which ingredients include peppermint, thyme, sage, elderflower, horsehound. The herbs are used to soothe sore throats, calm coughs, and support breathing. It is actually so the founder of Ricola originally ran a bakery, and he applied candy making techniques to herbal remedies. As a result, he made the hard lozenge, long shelf life, no need for water, pleasant but still medicinal taste. This made Ricola portable, reliable, and easy to use. Key advantage during the early 20th century. Now I mentioned Halls was popular during the World War One. Ricola was exploded during World War Two because they didn't use no synthetic drugs, no menthol overload, and emphasis on natural herbs. Ricola expanded internationally in the 1960s and 70s. And Ricola doesn't promise to knock out symptoms; it promises to soothe, calm, support. And of course, the big difference is Halls is more of a sensation menthol punch. Ricola is tradition herbal balance.
Well, you said how many does Ricola had? Did you say 17, something like that?
13 ingredients.
13. That ain't nothing compared to Jägermeister. I looked it up. Jägermeister contains a secret recipe of 56 botanicals. 56. Combination of herbs, roots, fruits, and spices sourced from around the world, creating this distinctive flavor profile. It is distinctive. While the full list isn't disclosed, some identified ingredients include cinnamon, bitter oranges, ginger root, licorice, and saffron. Boy, that saffron's going to get lost in all those other heavy flavors. Interesting. Yeah, Jägermeister is the bomb. Get it? Jäger bomb?
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay. Just playing to a different audience. Well, you're not a big drinker.
No, that's definitely not a big drinker, Lenny. No.
What about Benadryl?
Benadryl origins.
I don't quite understand Benadryl. It's like a panacea. It's like a great thing to get little children to go to sleep, and it clears you up, and it takes care of your hives, and it's like a kind of a miracle drug, I believe.
So it was actually created in 1943 at the University of Cincinnati.
Really?
He was originally creating muscle relaxants, not allergy drugs. The compound blocked histamine effectively, reduced itching, sneezing, and swelling, but had one noticeable side effect: drowsiness. So it was launched in 1946 officially as Benadryl. It was one of the first successful antihistamines, a major step forward in allergy treatment. But doctors noticed that patients slept better, calmed nausea, reduced motion sickness. But over time, Benadryl became known for allergy relief, sleep aid use, emergency treatment for allergic reactions. And the sedating effect later inspired nighttime cold medicines like NyQuil.
Yeah. And I get, every now and again, I think I should have some Benadryl in the house just in case somebody gets hives or something like that, has an allergic reaction. It's sort of, it's not quite an EpiPen, but I don't know if it would work the same way either. But I can't quite figure out which one to get because there's like 5 or 6 choices of Benadryl when you go to the supermarket or the pharmacy, and they're all lined up there, and it's, there's not enough information to make me be able to make a clear choice. So I don't know. But and did you have another topic today, or are we going to play with more medicines?
That I think those are some like the big medicines that I had. So
okay, did we miss any?
Well,
let's see. I remember, for a completely different type of thing. If you had a stomach ache when I was younger, you would drink Coke syrup, not Coca-Cola, but just what they would mix the carbonation into to make Coca-Cola. And it was kind of interesting, but it would settle your stomach. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Probably perk you right up too, because back in those days, who knows what was in it? Yeah. I'm just liking the fact that Jägermeister has 56 botanicals, and so you've got 11 urban spices for Kentucky Fried Chicken. You got 13 or whatever you said for Ricola, and you got 56 for Jägermeister. I'm telling you, that's going to be pretty interesting. Somebody's going to break that down and try to make their recipe.
Yep.
Not quite sure why you would want to, however. Red sandalwood and various wood barks,
Ugh.
juniper berries, poppy seeds, and I think they just. You ever watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives where Guy Fieri is in somebody's kitchen and they're making a salad dressing, or they're making a seasoning, flour or a rub of some nature, and they've got everything measured out and lined up, and about halfway through those 12 or 13 ingredients that they're mixing into their salad dressing, guy goes, all right, it's just everybody in the pool, and they just dump everything in there. I think that's what they did with Ricola. With Jägermeister. They just, everything in the shelf. We don't care what it is. Put it in there, grind it up, throw some alcohol on it, steep it out. Let's see what we get. I think we should go make something. We should make Blakemeister.
Maybe we should get an alcohol license first before Sheriff Harbor questions why we're making our little brewery in Studio B.
Well, you can make your own. You can make your own Kahlua. You can make your own Baileys. You just need to. You can make your own limoncello. I've done that before. Don't come after me, Sheriff. I'm a big fan. Limoncello takes a little while. You got to steep it all out, and it's interesting because basically, you're taking everything off of the rind. The aromatic oils and citrus fruits are in the rinds, and you're just leaching all that out in a very, 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 very high proof alcohol. You're using something like Everclear, or ABC Liquor makes their own high test. And then you just soak it up, and then, woohoo! It's good, but boy, it'll put some hair on your chest. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it is. So, but unfortunately, I'm personally not a huge fan of alcohol myself.
No, I know.
It really is unfortunate. So, but for someone that doesn't like alcohol as much, what's like one cocktail or drink that I should have like that? I think that you think I might like the most.
Do you like coffee flavor? You don't drink coffee either, do you?
No.
Okay, so Sombrero is out. A White Russian is out. Those are rich and creamy and delicious, but coffee flavored. You like orange juice?
Yeah.
How about a screwdriver?
Okay.
Vodka and orange juice. Can't get more simple than that. And by the way, the vitamin C could help you cough and cold.
Yeah.
But if they still make it, and Barbara Jean may remember this, Bobby may remember this, but there was a product that was a pre-mixed cocktail called Tango, Tango, that was basically a screwdriver in a bottle, and it was approaching god awful. But it was easy and it was inexpensive. I'll tell you that. So no, I'm a screwdriver. And if the acid in the orange juice is too much, do a screwdriver to the south side and hit it with a good splash of club soda.
Okay.
Long Island iced tea. Had one of my best. Bobby's asking about Long Island iced teas. Yeah, I had one of my best all-time drunks on a Long Island iced tea. Ooh, baby, that was good. And that's it'd be like drinking an iced tea for you, Blake. It's the clear liquors. It's vodka, gin, rum, triple sec, and Coke and Sour Mix. Right, maybe not even the Sour Mix, but I think Coke and Sour Mix. And you shake that all up, and it takes the Barbara Jean, you are so good to me. I knew you would. I knew you would understand Tango and know that. That's it. We're like the same person, but from different states. You can deal with the cold better than I can, you Minnesotan, you. Yeah, it's tough. You don't want to drink? It's a screwdriver. Yeah, you put club soda into anything that's to the south side. And, a screwdriver or juice drink is basically the thing you're going to want to do. So sometimes it'll just take some of the edge off of the acid. But Long Island iced teas, they're efficient. I'll put it to you that way. A couple of those, you're feeling no pain. And they're tasty as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, good to know, Lenny.
All right,
Good
what
to
else
know.
can we get you cocktailed up on?
Water?
Vodka and cranberry. Water's good. You're not going to catch a buzz, but it'll keep you well hydrated. And by the way, cocktail, glass of water. Cocktail, glass of water. Goes a long way to keeping you well hydrated and well balanced.
Mm. Indeed. Yeah, so
I remember Tang as well. No O on that. I can still taste Tang if I put my mind to it, really. I drank a lot of that as a kid growing up. Me and the astronauts. Orange-flavored powdered drink mix that the astronauts used. Who's going to turn that down when you're a 7-year-old kid? That was good stuff.
Indeed. All right, Lane, we got 15 minutes left. What other stuff's on your mind right now?
Let's see what I have. Do I have other notes around here?
Oh boy. Yeah, so in case so unfortunately my dad probably wearing a wetsuit right now. Probably messed up a lot of stuff right now.
Oh, hopefully it didn't. It's a nice building. Do you know where in the building it was?
I have no idea where in the building it was.
All right. So you want to know the best and worst states to raise a family in for 2026?
Sure.
Okay. The first is Massachusetts.
All right.
That is the best state to raise your family.
Oh, is
Cold up there?
Is there going to be a liberal bias, Lenny?
It depends, because the second best state is Minnesota. We know who that's for.
Ooh.
And the third best is Minnesota's neighbor, North Dakota.
Okay.
So no, there isn't. Then you got Wisconsin and Nebraska. It pings and pangs. New York is 6th, believe it or not. Connecticut 7th. New Hampshire 8th. Illinois 9th. It seems like it's a northern bias is what it is, because everybody, except for Nebraska, which is sort of Midwesty, but North Midwesty, they're all northern states. You don't get Utah's number 18, Bobby. Everything above that going backwards: 17 Vermont, 16 Rhode Island, 15 Colorado, 14 New Jersey, 13 Washington, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Maine, Illinois, New Hampshire, Connecticut, New York, Nebraska. Basically, great states to raise your family in. Buy a coat.
Huh. Now, what's Florida on the list?
Florida is, let's see. Florida's 40th out of 50.
What's below to the low?
The last state is New Mexico. New Mexico's getting beaten on lately. And who is it? The guy, Stan Kroenke, who owns the Rams is he own the Golden State or the Lakers?
He owns, Stan Kroenke owns the Rams, the Denver Nuggets.
The Nuggets, okay. He bought like half of New Mexico the other day.
Mm.
So it's New Mexico. I find that a tad surprising. There's not a whole lot in New Mexico. West Virginia, I don't find that surprising. And Mississippi, which should be moving up, by the way, because they have absolutely turned their educational system around. Mississippi was one of the worst states for public education or education in the country, and they have moved up dramatically in those metrics. Absolutely. Nevada is 47th. That's surprising. There's a lot of empty space there. Alabama, 46. Sorry, Ray. Louisiana, 45th. Mr. Speaker, can you do something about that? Arkansas, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Georgia's 41st, and Florida's 40th.
Mm.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, all those northeastern states and New England states are way up there.
So what's the statistic based on what determines the ranking?
Okay. They used most family. This is from Wallet Hub again, and Wallet Hub puts these things out every day. They put out a different survey of some nature like this to identify which states offer the most family-friendly conditions. Wallet Hub evaluated all 50 states using 50 key indicators. Their data set included factors such as median annual family income, housing affordability, health care quality, crime rates, and school performance. So they've got a family fun rank, a health and safety rank, education and child care, and affordability rank.
Okay. All right.
So I want to see where Mississippi was on that.
48.
No, they were 48th on the list, but socioeconomic rank. But education and child care is 1, 2, 3, fourth one in. And they were 43rd on that. I think they will be higher in the next one. Virginia has the highest median income, second to Minnesota, Illinois, Maine, New Mexico has the lowest. Hawaii has the lowest family median income. Go figure. Affordable housing. Iowa's got the most affordable housing, followed by North Dakota and Kansas. Least affordable, not surprising, Nevada, New York, and then Florida 46th. Hawaii and California are the two worst for affordable housing. Nebraska and South Dakota are way up there. Massachusetts is the best state to raise a family in large part because it provides a good blend of economic opportunities and safe conditions for children. The Bay State has the third best job security in the country and the ninth lowest poverty rate. That's impressive, which increases the likelihood that parents will be able to provide for their children. It's not the cheapest state, as housing and child care costs are relatively high compared to most of the nation, but residents make up for this with fairly high incomes. You know, if they can rectify the child care crisis in this country, and it will be interesting to see what Mayor Mandani does about that in New York, that will help families do so much better all across the country. Because if you don't have a relative, if you don't have a grandparent, if you don't have somebody who's a stay-at-home parent, childcare is exorbitantly expensive, what I'm told and what I'm learning. So it's really kind of difficult for people to manage that, even families that have two incomes, because if both mother and father are working, even just to support their childcare needs, it's difficult because then the parent isn't spending as much time as they would like with their children. You know, once the kid get to be public school age, a lot of it gets taken care of. But you've got from, you know, 1 to 6 that the families are reliant on finding some type of, whether it's daycare, pre-K, things of that nature, to keep their children safe, give them some early educational head start. It really does help. But, you know, let's see what they say about Minnesota. It's the second best state to raise a family in, and it's cold. At least if you're not adverse to harsh winters. See, there you go. Minnesota's a great place to find a job to support your family, as it's the second highest median income at over $109,000, and that's adjusted for the cost of living. It also has the second lowest poverty rate for families and the eighth lowest wealth gap between the lowest and highest earners. Well, that is something to hang your hat on, absolutely. In addition to good pay, residents can also receive reliable long-term benefits, as Minnesota ranks 13th in the country for employer-based retirement plan and participation. Another great thing about raising your family in the land of 10,000 lakes, that's right, 10,000, somebody counted them, is what it can do for your children's health. The state has the fifth highest quality life expectancy at birth and the sixth best public hospitals in the country. It also encourages children to stay fit amid the obesity epidemic, and it has the eighth highest percentage of children who live in neighborhoods with parks or playgrounds. Top things off, families tend to stay together in Minnesota, as has the fifth lowest separation and divorce rates in the country. Because you need your partner in bed with you to keep you warm at night. That helps. Yeah, no, that sounds great, Minnesota.
Indeed.
The winters are harsh, but other than that, you know, they got the Twins, they've got the Vikings, they've got the Timberwolves. Still playing Minnesota, the Timberwolves? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of sport fishing, and it's you know, it's Iowa adjacent. So you can't go wrong with Iowa. You know, I was in Iowa for a function so many years ago, and Iowa is like the preeminent dairy state. I found it so cognitively dissonant and incongruous that at a banquet that we were at, there were non-dairy creamers on the table. If I was the governor of Iowa, I would make that illegal. Support your dairy farmers, for crying out freaking loud. It made no sense to me. It really made no sense to me at all.
All right. Thank you, Lenny.
You're welcome.
Now, unfortunately, it does look like that I have to bail out here a little bit early. We're going to be working on a new Now for Now project that I need to meet my dad with. He's finally out of.
He's out of his puddle.
Yep,
That's good to know.
Yeah, so we're gonna be filming at the new roller skating rink in St. Augustine Beach. So
okay.
So we're not gonna go live, but we will pre-record. So I need to head out here out on the island. But Lenny, do you have any plugs?
No, but I will be very excited to see your father in his roller skating overalls, hopefully with one strap hanging down, because that was his signature back in the day when he was a roller skating dervish. Mm-hmm. So I hope he hasn't lost his moves. He's still pretty limber.
All right.
No, just stay warm. It's still going to be a little bit chilly this evening, but we're getting out of this deep freeze, so don't you worry about that. And we will be back tomorrow on Bollocks this evening with wager wires. Yes, and yay, Minnesota.
Yep.
Don't you? Oh,
All right.
you are just wonderful, Barbara Jean, and stay warm, please.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Really do appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow. Lenny,
Blake,
press the red button, please.
feel better. Feel better, my
Bye,
young
everyone.
friend. Good night.
Night.